What do you want to talk about?
Wrestling! And here!
Wrestling?
Why?
It's wrestling.
It's wrestling. Why? Why?
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Why not? Why not?
It's fake.
Fake? What the hell are you talking about? Fake? It's not fake.
Fake.
Wrestling's not fake!
Okay, wrestling.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Ronald Ray here, your boy with a cornbread accent. Welcome you to Spot Show live stream. God, I can't even remember the name of my own show. Let's see. There we go. Make sure I'm looking at it and not looking down. It looked like I was about to look down, but I guess I was looking down as I was looking on the screen. Anyway, I'm confusing everybody. Anyway, welcome to Spot Show live stream, where we talk about the current stuff of our current state of professional wrestling, a little bit of news bits here and there, and just randomly shooting the shit, which I'm not going to call this shooting the breeze. There we go. Because there's another social media stream that's called shooting the shit. Don't want to tread on that, but we just shoot the breeze. So we will sometimes go from wrestling to other subjects. So yes, if you're watching this live, join me in the chat and we'll just chat it up. Give me your opinions. I encourage it of anything I talk about tonight. One subject, I'm just going to breeze right through it, put in my 2 cents, and then if the people in the chat want to talk about it amongst themselves, they can. I encourage that. Y'all hash that out, because I've done seen enough of it and really don't care to discuss it for a long time. I was going to give my 2 cents and move on from that subject. So yes, if you're watching this live, definitely join me in the chat, and we'll got a couple more subjects. Probably not going to be a long show. It just depends on how much I'm going to rub my mouth or how engaging the chat is and everything. Because like I said, sometimes we go from one thing to another one. I'm probably going to harp on more on the Saturday night's main event recap than anything else. Other than that, it's like one more little news junket here. It might be interesting to some people. But otherwise, like I said, join me in the chat and all that good stuff, and we'll have a little bit of fun. No real adventures this week. I didn't see a bunch of cops going by me or anything like that. I mean, I did see a bunch of police officers on the side of not on the side on the side of the road. Hold on one second, folks. Let me try to prepare for tomorrow night too, and I'm a little behind on that, so I have no idea. So yeah, if you're also watch my Wrestling Gold Friday night, please, anytime, if you got a suggestion for a watch along, something you want to watch, give me a promotion and time, or at least year, and I'll bring something up, because more than likely this will be the last. I don't know. Gotta think about that. Yeah, I mean this will probably be the last spot show and Wrestling Gold the live streams for the year, more than likely, because we got Christmas, or we all got Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever holiday you may celebrate, and New Year's holiday, and hopefully, good gosh. I only got to work 3 days next week, and more than likely I'll be taking a lot of naps. I I got about 4 years of sleep I need to catch up on. So that's to do about that. But yes, I am live and all that good stuff. Make sure I am on. Yeah, kind of stalling a little bit. See, that's what sucks when you don't have a story to tell of any kind of adventures this week, because when you're stalling, you don't know how to stall. Except for the part where, yes, more than likely I don't. But if anybody's interested in, hey, just doing for me to do a live stream, we'll get together. We'll no format whatsoever, just talk about wrestling. We can do that. I'll definitely game for that, but more than likely I'm gonna be busy doing stuff, catch up on some stuff at home, and like I said, probably I'm not gonna lie, folks. I'll be taking a lot of naps. Be watching some movies. Probably definitely watch some wrestling. That's about it. That's just uh, putting a bow on everything. But so yes, if I'm not back on here on Thursday or Fridays, I'll go ahead and wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I say Merry Christmas. If you want to shoot me a Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy FU, I'm cool, and Happy New Year to everybody else. I'm open to everybody. As you can tell, I'm kind of tired tonight. I could have definitely used a nap tonight. But anyways, like I said, I'm going to kind of keep this kind of short. Like I got three things to talk about. Let's see. And last thing is Saturday night's main event, so that's 4 matches. Kind of cover there, quick matches, and definitely my opinion about um, the main event of Saturday night's main event. So let's get right to it. Let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. This has been the topic of the week. Seen it all over social media. I think it was like 4 to 5 every third article on any wrestling website had to do with this. So let's get to it. And I'm just going to be quick, blunt. Joe King. What's up, Joe King? Yes, if you give me a what's up on the chat. Like I said, any opinions you got, let me know. Except for this one, talking about yourselves in the chat. I'm just gonna give my 2 cents and go about it. All right, so this is gonna be it's gonna be quick. So good. So yeah, let's go ahead wrap that up. I mean, I guess I won't be a wrestling, what do you call it, streamer, talker, bullshitter, uh, without addressing this. Like I said, short and sweet, and we'll get to a little bit more fun stuff because it's all about having fucking fun, people. I need to get that. Wait a minute, what was the line? I said have fun, or what was it? All right, everybody, let's have fun. I said fun, goddammit. Bull Durham, another great movie. That's 2 baseball movies I mentioned this week. One of them was Sandlot, and the other one is Bull Durham. If you like baseball movies, 2 great baseball movies. But anyway, let's get this shit out of the way. And I mean shit, really shit. So, yes, Mick Foley, he won't be renewing his Legends deal with the WWE because he's unhappy with their association with a certain somebody. Whoop-de-doo, big deal. Mick Foley, you're in the entertainment business, sports entertainment business. There's probably been other promoters that you got a paycheck from that were probably not good people. And some people who's had, let's just say, allegations. I'm not here to. The allegations. That's all we can say about it. I'm not. I wasn't there or anything like that. Um, there's been people that you support as far as political ideologies that has said terrible stuff and terrible stuff about the guy who you don't like. And there's been those same politicians and entertainers who said horrible things about just people who have a different political ideology, but you kept your mouth shut. So if you're if you're good with it, you don't want Legend Steel coming up. I think June whatever. Fine, that's your choice. I don't care. But let's quit being a fucking hypocrite. But I will say I do got a prediction. There we go. Coming this summer, Mick Foley is All Elite. I'm pretty sure I'm not the first person who predicted this, but I just got a feeling maybe sometime this summer. I said I think the Legend still comes up in May or June, if I remember correctly, and then you know he'll go hop along to the other billionaire, you know. Well, the other person's got who's paying good money, uh, over six figures probably. Well, kind of like he went from WWE, had a little tantrum about something, went to TNA, then came back, that sort of deal. But um, now, regardless of, I obviously don't share his same political ideology, philosophy. That's fine. Not to distract that dude was fucking good. He could cut promos. Uh, Good performer for what he did. Like I said, I'm not. I could not sit there and watch like. Not, I'm probably not in three back-to-back Foley matches. Not big fan of the extreme hardcore death matches and stuff like that. I'm just not a big fan of that. Um, so if you say I need to watch three Foley matches, I'll probably be like, oh god, fuck. By by one and a half, I'd be like, okay, shoot me. Now I watched Foley promos all day. Dude was a hell of a promo cutter. Um, I mean, especially that stuff he would cut the Kane Dewey promo in ECW, fucking phenomenal. Um, and that's why he would come on as a commissioner and whatever I guess part owner or something like that, investor to TNA when he was there, because the dude could still talk on the mic and stuff like that. So that's the reason he was able to kind of, after the in ring stuff, he can go back and do that. But it's like I said, I'm trying to make this simple. Anytime an entertainer says something, I don't care if I agree with their political ideology. Once they do that pearl clutching crap, I'm just kind of like, I do the roll my eyes thing. I'm like, you're in the entertainment business. You've been handing taken. You've been taking paychecks from people who are probably in who live in a whole different world than I do. I'm not saying I'm an angel, but I'm pretty. I'm 100% positive I ain't done the crap they did. I mean, yeah, there was that time I, you know, grabbed an old lady and acted like I was going to help her across the street, then let go of the old lady and left her in the middle of the street and just enjoyed the show. Just kidding, folks. I really didn't do that, but you know what I'm saying. Um, but like I said, when you take money from and you work along with people who probably have sketchy stuff, and you never disassociate with them, it's kind of hard for me to take you seriously. So hopefully, yeah, I'm pretty sure Nick Khan, he'll give you a nice payday, and like I said, just kind of keep in mind of all the stuff you are quiet about, and that's what I mean. If you're going to speak up about stuff, do it all. This that's what I'm saying. Do it all. And let's put a bow on it. Let's fuck it. Let's go. Let's go to something else now. All right. Let me scroll up here. Oh, this is a longer article than I thought it was. So anyway, I'm pretty sure a lot of you are probably not that familiar with Eddie Mansfield, the Continental Lover. He was a wrestling in the territories. Texas, or not Texas, Southwest, Florida. I think he had a decent run in Southwest, according to him. A little bit in Georgia. I think by the time basically his career, for whatever reason, his career was done by 1984. He does have a shooting review. If y'all want to give me a little moment here, as I'll talk as I'm trying to pull it up. Or try to talk as I'm trying to pull it up. But he goes into his reasons that his wrestling career was pretty much done by the time 1984 came along. And I think 1984 was when the huge 2020 thing came about. Him and Jim Wilson went on there talking about wrestling's a work. He showed everybody how to blade. John Stossel interviewed both of them. John Stossel was, I guess, in a training facility with Eddie Mansfield. And come on. Oh, there we go. Hopefully I got the volume off. There we go. But let me see if I can find it. Come on now. There we go. So there's a YouTube channel. Let me find it again. Basically, he explains why he did what he did, in his mind what he did. But there's a YouTube channel called at Title Match Wrestling. They got a lot of the RF video shooting reviews. I think, yeah, a lot of them's the RF video shoots. There's one 7-hour Raven shooting review. Good gosh. Oh crap! No! Don't play. But anyway, they got a lot of them. So let me exit this out. Drop that. Hey, I'm back, folks. And there's the link to that if you folks want to check it out. Please check it out after this though. But yeah, he went on the 2020 thing. This was the famous 2020 episode. Like I say, he showed people how to blade. Jim Wilson's on there talking about how Jim Barnett wanted to bang him and all that. Like I said, this is their claims, not mine. I wasn't there. But and this was the famous one where John Stossel decided to go up to Dr. D and I think this is fake. Wham! What's wrong with you? That was an open hand slap. Wham! Knocked them down again. So it was that infamous episode. Maybe we need to check that. Man, I'm already having second thoughts now. Sitting here talking about this, we might have to do a watch along on that one. You know what? We might do that tomorrow night. Do a watch along of the 2020, maybe in something else. Maybe the Morton Downey one too. Maybe a back to back. Because I think the 2020 thing is like maybe 15, 20 minutes or something like that. Maybe 30 minutes. And there was an episode of the Morton Downey Jr. show that had Jim Wilson, David Schultz, Thunderbolt Patterson, and it's Morton Downey Jr. Come on, he was trash TV before it became like chic, or not chic, but fashionable to have trash TV. He was Jerry Seinfeld before Jerry Seinfeld, but I don't think he had a lot of fights on there. But a lot of cussing, a lot of arguing, a lot of cigarette smoke. I don't see why he smoked so much cigarettes. Anyway, so in a roundabout way, apparently he's got a book that's about to come out. Here's how the article reads. By the way, do I sound good? Sound clear? Look, I don't know why two cameras, one's a little lighter, one's brighter than the other one. I have no idea. I was trying to figure that out earlier, and I couldn't do it. Who's texting shit on me? Okay, never mind. Other people, not concerning me. So, the Continental Elder, Eddie Mansfield, has given the Wrestling Epic Center the green light to announce the pending release of his autobiography, Stars, Scars, and Spotlights, the Continental Lover Story. Eddie Mansfield, a former headline attraction in the territories throughout the United States, filling arenas everywhere he went. Mansfield also was the center of controversy during the 2020 special on pro wrestling as he demonstrated how wrestlers bleed during that special, which resulted in him being blackballed from the wrestling or from business for several years. Mansfield created his own promotion and Universal Studios before promotions like WCW and TNA Wrestling started filming there years later. He also was an executive producer for the short-lived XWF, did not know that, after the demise of WCW and ECW. Today, Mansfield is an accomplished producer and successful talk show host with a focus on pro sports. His show, Mouthing Off, boasts a huge audience. I can tell you I've never heard of that one. It might be just regional, kind of like in Atlanta you got 92.9 The Game and 680 The Fan, but I can't. What was it? Buck and Baloo, but I think Baloo went to another station. But anyway, I digress. Over the past few years, Eddie has taken a liking to James Walsh of the Wrestling Epic Center and has done a number of honest interviews on the site's podcast. Eddie Mansfield's new book cover below is due out early 2026. We are told he got quite a payday, reporting a seven-figure deal for the publishing rights for this book. I, for one, cannot wait to crack this book open and read about the life and times. I'm reading from the article that's I copy and pasted on. Times of a very genuine, very unique man. We hope you will stay tuned for more details concerning the release in the weeks of ahead. So yeah, looks like Eddie Mansfield's finally. I might be wrong. I think he said something about writing a book back in during when he did the shooting review. I think the shooting review was done, gosh, a long time ago. As far as I want to say 2011. I know I've had it for a while. I actually got, yes, yeah, I have a copy of it. I thought somebody like that interests me. I like to get everybody's point of view of what happened. And if somebody, that's the reason I used to love shooting reviews. It's just the stories and people's own perspective on stuff, especially if they were a good talker. Like Jim Cornette's. I will say, Jim Cornette's, the first one he did with RF Video, probably one of the best shooting reviews I've ever seen. No fucks given, especially when it comes to Vince Russo and Eric Bischoff. But I mean, he really hammered Vince Russo. And still to this day, they don't. He don't care for him. Uh, and I think. So I mean, speak of RF Video, they did a thing called Face Off, a series. The one I got a couple of them. The one I got is like Honky Tonk Man and Raven. That one's pretty good. The one with, let's see, Raven or not? Yeah, Raven and Tommy Dreamer was decent, which they did a couple of them. Uh, but apparently, he Rob Feinstein was like, hey Jim, won't you and Vince Russo get together and have one of those? I do this face off. Y'all can sit there and kind of hash it out, And if I remember correctly, Jim Cornette's like, no, I ain't doing that. So it is what it is. But so yeah, I got his interview. I thought was interesting. His point of view. Holly Anderson's was pretty good. I think the one he did with Hot Spot's a little bit better, even though the video kind of started messing up a little bit. He did another one. I forgot what the name of the company is, but it was a long one. I forgot how it was a few hours, but he kind of went into details. That same company, Bob Roop, did one that was pretty interesting. But um, I'm pretty sure this book will be pretty interesting. Like I said, part of his point of view and how things went. But yeah, I do remember the IWF that Eddie Mansfield did. It had the Smoking Guns before there was Smoking Guns. It was, I guess they would call the Long Riders or something like that. Cowboys, the Buckaroos. I don't know about who they were called, but as for there was Billy and Bart Gunn, the Smoking Guns. Rob Van Dam was on there. Can't remember. There was a team called Thunder and Lightning that did come to WCW and just didn't do much after that. So I think, off the top of my head, I think the two biggest stars uh, that come out IWF was Billy Gunn and Rob Van Dam. Could have been more, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But like I said, sounds like an interesting book. It's, like I said, due early 2026. Pretty sure Joe might bite it. I don't know. Uh, but I will say, he definitely didn't like Holly Anderson. A lot of people didn't. If I was going to give away anything as far as the shooting interview, but yeah, check out shooting interview. It's pretty interesting. Uh, you'll hear him compare himself to, or not really comparing himself to Abraham Lincoln. I think this famous line in the shooting interview when he was talking about Abraham Lincoln, he's like, "Look, Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. He didn't free the wrestlers. Abraham Lincoln was a wrestler." Yeah, it sounds like it might be a good book. But yeah, anybody's got, like I said, the shooting reviews I used to like to watch, the ones that, especially the ones who are like done and retired from the business, they don't care. Now, some of the stuff they did not want to, dive into because there was people, and I kind of understand that more now than I did back then. Um, when they're talking about like the party scene, it's like okay, it's probably stuff that happened 20 years ago, and that when like the interviewer will want to, hey, name names or really, um, go into detail of some of these stories, and a lot of them, I think just about every one of them wouldn't because it's like, they're because people change in like 20, 30 years. People mature, they get married, do adult things. Unlike me, I don't do adult shit. Okay, I do get up and go to work every day, but that's about the only, beyond having a job, paying bills. There's not too much more adult shit I try to get into. Marriage, kids, no, I don't do that. That's too much grown up shit to deal with. Because I will always be a Toys R Us kid. But where was I going with that? But yeah, might be a good one. I might pick it up and do a book review. We're not supposed to start doing like shooter reviews. Anyway, we'll get into that later. All right, and of course a big thing that happened last Saturday. We had Saturday night's main event, the last time, right here, right now, whatever you want to call it. The final match of John Cena, at least as a full time wrestler. He was kind of been part time last, 3 or 4 years. But this is definitely his last time. I think they say he signed, I think I read somewhere he signed like another 5-year deal, which just means he's going to he'll come in, make an appearance, maybe have that little, uh, not like a exhibition match, not exhibition match, but just a match to, trying to think of the right word for it. Can't do it right now. But just have a little match, just a little attraction match, like him and I don't know, Michael Cole or something like that. I digress on that one. Maybe him and somebody else who's about to retire. Maybe something like that. Maybe, one of Brock Lesnar's final matches or something like that. But yeah, this was John Cena's last match, but we had other matches that night. Let's get to it. Let's see. Let me bring other notes up. There we go. So, and this was at the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. This was actually the 42nd episode of Saturday Night's Main Event. I'm pretty sure if it kept being continuous from 85 to now, it would have been a whole lot more, but they kind of didn't do no more for a while. They went back doing it, and then now they're doing it again, only on the Peacock. But I will say there were some decent matches on this thing. I can't really say there was a bad match on this program. This was probably one of the better Saturday night, probably the best Saturday night's main event all year. The other one, I mean, it is what it is. Glorified house show, glorified. I don't even think it's glorified Raw. You're basically getting a house show for free. Which, gosh, I know Raw was coming back to Atlanta February next year. But I would like to go to a house show because I always see like people put short videos up and stuff like that. And it seems like they kind of go out there and have a little bit more fun at house shows than they do on TV. So I would definitely like to go to a house show one time. A WWE. I've never been to a WWE house show. Now I've been to an NXT house show, but I've never been to a WWE house show. But anyway, let's see. Well, I should have redirected this. I didn't. Anyway, the first match of the night was Cody Rhodes, your undisputed WWE champion, going against Alba Femi. He's the NXT champion, and I don't watch much NXT. I'm be honest about that. So this is I believe the first time I've seen uh, Femi in there, and I will say he impressed me. During the start of the match, he pretty much countered every. They booked it how as a way that hey, Oba is a student too. He watched tapes, so he was able to pretty much counter just about every one of Cody's signature stuff. Uh, but of course, Cody would have came back, did get his signature stuff. The match spilled out to outside the ring. Oba hit a big, what was it, running uppercut right on the commentator's table, and probably when Cody fell, I think that's where he gashed his ear a little bit. Well, a little bit. I mean, he gashed it, and you can kind of see it all over the place. But Cody actually bounced back from that one, hit one of those triple jump Cody cutters. And that's when Drew McIntyre came in, attacked Cody, causing a DQ. Oba didn't appreciate that. Choke slam Drew. Then, of course, she had the mutual respect handshake pose with her uh, respective championships. But yeah, I was pretty impressed with the big guy. Dude can move. A very athletic guy. Like I said, that match, kind of told the stories. Like, it made him look like, hey, he's a student of the game. He studied the film on Cody Rhodes, so he was familiar with a lot of stuff. So yeah, that's the reason I thought this was pretty good. Joe King, he was pretty impressive first time seeing him. But yeah, I was pretty impressed with him. Like I said, I think it's probably gonna be one of my New Year's resolutions this year is check out a little more NXT than what I do. And speaking of other promotions, I want to go ahead and apologize too. Probably won't be a AEW Dynamite recap this week because I didn't watch it yesterday. I was exhausted. I was pretty much in and out. I just can't sleep in hotel rooms, and just wasn't feeling it too well. I just didn't watch. Anyway, I digress on that. Let's see. Another person that impressed me was Sol Ruka. I thought this was a very good match as well. Uh, probably one of the better Bailey matches I've seen lately. Um, but Ruka, very athletic, was doing the flips. Bailey would cut her off and tripped her up on the apron, took the advantage a little bit. Ruka came back. Uh, Bailey hit her Bailey to belly for a 2 count. During the end or towards the end of the match, Bailey hit the what was it called, the rose plant, but was too close to the ropes. Well, actually, it was Bailey pulling her, hooking her legs and was close to the ropes, and Sol Ruka feet touched the ropes. That broke that up. Then Sol Ruka, she has a pretty good finisher called the Soul Snatcher, where she kind of like hits her ropes and flips back and goes into a cutter. Looks very good. I probably would. I mean, that as good as that move looks, it's one of those two where she probably needs probably another finisher too to go along with that, especially when she comes up to the main roster, because that'll be one of those. How many times can somebody just follow you into the corner and you hit that move? But then again, they've made it work so far. But yeah, Uh, Ruka hit that soul snatcher. Uh, Bailey was trying to roll out of the ring, but Ruka pulled her back. Bailey rolled her up in a victory roll, but Ruka reversed it and scored, I guess you can call it an upset win. Uh, she's an NXT person, and she got a victory over a former women's champion and Bailey. But like I said, good match. I was impressed with her. Very athletic, could do the flips. Not bad to look at either. And it seems like she's pretty popular with the crowd. People respond to her pretty well. It'll be interesting what happens when she comes up to full on the main roster. And that's what I was kind of talking about last week too. I don't know if she'll be. I can possibly see her being a entrant in the Royal Rumble. Then after Mania, she'll probably move to the main roster. But no, like I said, uh, so far the women's division is going to be in good hands in the future. I mean, you got her, you got Stephanie Van Curie, you got Roxanne Perez, uh, Raquel Rodriguez. She's improved a lot. Talked about it on the Raw recap this week. I have no problem if they give the WWE Women's World Championship to Raquel Rodriguez. She's definitely earned it. Thought she might be having to retire because of illness, but she's bounced back and she's done really good. She's really honed in that Big Mammy Cool, kind of a knockoff of Big Daddy Cool, but calls herself, Big Mammy Cool, and she's kind of soaked into that pretty well, and it's working out for her. So hopefully she gets her shot at it. But like I said, Sol Ruka, same thing. She's going to be in that main roster too. Looks like she's going to do pretty good. Another one I've seen on NXT. What's her name? Jada Parker. She's impressive. I dig her. So there's a lot of talented females in there. And from what I've seen too, you got these the guy who's coming up on this next match here. We had AJ Styles Dragon Lee versus Javon Evans and Leon Slater. Those two kids, Javon Evans, kind of a tall, lanky guy, but moves very well. High flyer guy. I thought he did very well. Leon Slater, he's an NXT X Division champion. I thought he did well, very good. I mean, I will say this is probably the best match of the night. Um, the kids kind of attacked the champs from the get go, worked over on Lee, and of course AJ gets tagged in. He gets his signature stuff in, some more high flying stuff. Leon Slater, he's got, I don't know, guess it's not his finishing move since, well, the 2 count was broken up. So, but it was a thing of beauty. It was a Swanton 450, looked very good. Lee broke it up though after a 2 count. Lee, the same scenario. Lee took out Javon. Styles slipped on the top rope. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Lee or Slater kind of took advantage of that, trying to get a pin after that. Went to the top rope and went for a dive, looked like either a drop kick or a flying hurricanrana, but AJ caught him, countered it, put it into a Styles clash, 1, 2, 3. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee wins that one. But like I said, very impressed with Javon Evans and Leon Slater on this one. Slater is the X Division champion. Son of a beast thing. They do have that working agreement with TNA, but But yeah, that was my first time seeing Slater. Very good. Like I said, that Swanton 450 looked pretty good. May need to jump a little, see if he can jump a little higher, but other than that, it looked good. Looked impressive. Evans as well looked impressive. Looked like he's going to be in the main roster probably sooner than later, or at least have a couple more matches. I know next week on Raw he's going against one of the masked El Americanos. Not forgot which one, but he'll be on Raw next or this Monday. Should be pretty decent. But yeah, pretty impressed by that. Don't have no visual on this one, but the Miz came out and he, by God, demanded respect. Ron Killings came out and said, "Hey, Miz mess with all this. They call this his balls." That didn't sound right, but uh, but yeah, he took, Miz took someone's opportunity, and he had a ball in his hand, and Miz snatched it, read it. It was Joe Hendry. You know, he said his name, and he appeared, and everybody believes in Joe Hendry. And Miz tried to attack Joe Hendry, and Hendry hit the fallaway slam. Truth and Hendry hit double five knuckle shuffles, and Hendry hit the choke slam. Killings became a referee for at least 3 seconds. Got down on the mat, counted a 3 count for Joe Hendry. So an unofficial match with the Miz and Joe Hendry. Um, Joe Hendry seems okay. I just don't believe in the choke slam. Him doing a choke slam. Something about that kind of just kind of off with me, and the fallaway slam too. Other than that, I don't know. I guess I need to watch more of it, and that might be something about his character that yeah you're supposed to believe he can choke slam anybody, but yeah that again I don't know what's all in his repertoire or his arsenal, but I mean a few matches I've seen him in look pretty good. I haven't seen a lot of them, but like a lot of people, the whole song came on social media, and so you had to check it out. And of course, you hear the song first time, it gets stuck in your head. And of course, I always put my own name in there. I ain't sitting there, you know, say another dude's name and he'll appear. I'll say my own name, damn it. And of course, this brings us to the main event of the night. Like I said, the very last match of John Cena. Gunther came out, like I said, all the boos. So last match, here we go. All the tributes done. The thank yous. We still got a bunch of those. Uh, like I said, this was Cena's last match. Um, and Gunther, hey, Gunther knew how to get his heat. Didn't have to do much. I mean, beginning of the match, he just simply stepped out over the ropes and was called an asshole. But he controlled a big portion of this match, doing the uppercuts, the chops, and everything. Then John Cena did his signature stuff, the flying tackles, the five knuckle shuffle, um, a few or a couple of AAs. Gunther counted one of those AAs with a German suplex. Uh, Cena was able to lock the STFU on Gunther, but he got out of it. Hit a dropkick power bomb. Then he started hitting Cena with a series of clotheslines, trying to either knock him out or make John Cena give up. Uh, Cena will bounce back, hit another thing. Let's see. Let me count here. Here's okay. One. I got countered. So one AA. Let's see. Well, it didn't go for another one. let's see, Avalanche AA, about three AAs in this match. So three shots of Jack for the AAs. If I'm just skimming over here over my notes, um, but after another AA, Gunther locked in a sleeper hole. Cena was able to get out of it. The match went outside, came back in, or was outside. Then Gunther was looking to powerbomb Cena through the table, but John Cena reversed it. Oh, excuse me, I think it's four AAs. Got AA on the table. Um, went for another five knuckle shuffle and ran into the big boot of Gunther. Another power bomb from Gunther got a 2 count. Then an avalanche AA got Cena a 2 count. Strikes, chops, and everything else. Gunther hit a power bomb and a top rope splash for a 2 count. Then that's when Gunther applied a sleeper hole, and Cena did a good job. Kept fighting out, and he was finally able to fight out and hit another AA 2 count. Then Gunther kind of rolled into a sleeper hold again, and this is one of those where they did the raise into the arm. 1, 2. And he raised up his little three fingers. So they didn't do the one thing. He got, Cena got the Sami Zayn treatment. We'll throw your arms up. Usually it's just one time, but we'll give you the Sami Zayn treatment, and because you're John fucking Cena. So we give you two arms up. But he got out of that, hit another AA. Gunther kicks out. Slaps on that sleeper again. Then after the third, that time where he got the third try, the raising the arm, Gunther hit him with a series of elbows. And when I seen that, I'm like, okay, this has got to be it this time. Reapplies the sleeper hole, and this time you see Cena kind of have his eyes shut right there in view of the camera, gives a smile, a little tap out, end of the match. Or the crowd went silent until the chants of bullshit came out. They replay him tapping out, and the crowd started, chanting bullshit, bullshit. Then went to the thank you Cena. Locker room empties out. Triple H comes out, gets some booze himself. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes came out, draped their respective championships on John Cena. He went on around all four corners doing the pose thing. Took his shoes off, took his sweatbands off, left the ring, saluted the crowd one last time. And that's how, as of right now, that's how John Cena's in-ring career ends. Now, I see a lot of people are upset because I guess, be honest, I wasn't never a big John Cena fan. I just did not like that rap gimmick and stuff like that. I didn't. I'm like, the dude could be a decent, very good wrestler, but you want to put him in a rap gimmick and basically a Eminem gimmick, and I wasn't a big fan of Eminem either. I'm not a big fan. I mean, I like some rap music, but not a huge fan of it. But in the end of the day, there was plenty of people who, looked at the lights as they put it over John Cena. John's, I don't see what the problem was. I mean, that's the way it's kind of always been. If you're retiring, you kind of put the other person over, give them the rub. I mean, back in the territory days, I mean, if you was going from one territory to another, you would do the honors and then go to the next territory. or if you're putting over a new star and you're, I think, well, who was it? Um, what's his name? Jackie Fargo. He did a feud, put over Jerry Lawler. Now Jackie Fargo came in out of retirement a few times, but he's the one to kind of put Jerry Lawler on that pedestal. Um, but that's nothing wrong with it. He tapped out. He didn't. This Skeleton might go, "Oh, I give up. I give up. Too much for me." It's a little smile and a tap out, and that's it. And after watching, I mean, as soon as I watched Raw, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, dude!" Gunther, in my opinion, like I said, I said on my Raw review, I think this is one of those rarities where I actually tweeted and posted something on Facebook. uh, I probably should do that more often, but I don't. But yeah, I sat there. I was like, Gunther right now should be the WWE World Champion. I don't know if he's got to go win the Royal Rumble this year and face CM Punk. I was almost want to guess that maybe Braun Breaker might win the championship come January 5th. But I hate to say it, it's on TV, so you can end that some kind of double disqualification, bunch of people get involved. You don't have to have CM Punk get the pinfall. You can do something like that, kind of protect both of them. But I feel right now it's the time for Gunther to be the world champion because he's got a ton of heat on him right now. And this is a guy who people will pay to watch in hopes of somebody beating him and just to come out and boo the guy because they he beat down their childhood hero. He beat down John Cena to the point that he had to tap out. So everybody's so mad now, trying to find somebody get that revenge. And this year, uh, and not only this year's WrestleMania, but WrestleMania before that, when he was Intercontinental Champion, he's kind of shown he can be beatable. Sami Zayn beat him for the Intercontinental title. Jey Uso beat him for the world title, but Gunther won it back, and he lost against um, CM Punk. But but yeah, and like I said, and Gunther knows how to work a match to where he can be dominant, but all of a sudden feed that baby face, feed into that baby face's comeback to where you almost think, go watch some of those matches where he was Intercontinental Champion. Matches with Chad Gable and Sami Zayn before Sami Zayn won it. Look at those matches. He looked dominant, then all of a sudden fed into those comebacks with the baby face and it almost made it look like, oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. He's finally going to get beat, and but then turn around and wind up winning, and it'll be believable because dude looks like a monster. Don't look like he couldn't whoop anybody's ass. Joe King, the difference between WWE and AEW. Cena put people over on the way out. Sting never lost in AEW and even in his final match. Yeah, that's true, but now I don't. I'm not sure if he really did say this. I just seen a picture. It could have been somebody just posted it. Could have been phony. Uh, Ric Flair said, "Yeah, Sting never did lose and didn't lose in his final match because there was nobody there to put over." Um, Now Sting did do a tap out job to Nick Aldis and TNA to the Texas Cloverleaf. What was it, Bound for Glory, whatever year it was. Um, Sting, I guess, had 2 matches in WWE where he lost to Triple H and Seth Rollins. And I thought that when he got the WWE Hall of Fame thing, I thought that's his retirement. He announced his retirement, but let's be honest, you back up a dump truck full of money, say, hey, come join us. You ain't got to work, you know, too many times. Now, I really thought AEW was going to put, I mean, it could have been a babyface match. I mean, I think I said at the time, they could have put Sting and Darby Allin in a babyface match, and he could have put Darby Allin over. Um, but I mean, yeah, he could have. I just don't. I mean, at that point, Sting was he wasn't this definitely not the same Sting of uh not even the same Sting of TNA. I mean, he's kind of just there, do the bat, do the Scorpion Death Drop, Stinger Splash. That's it. Now he I don't know why he did some crazy stuff with Darby Allin and their tag matches where I was like, "Fuck you doing, Sting? You're too old for that shit. You're supposed to be diving on people. You're supposed to be diving through a table." Um, but yeah, I mean, like I said, at the time, I thought maybe uh, he would have a match with Darby Allin and put Darby Allin over. I think Cody was done gone. I guess he could have put over MJF. Not sure MJF really needed that kind of rub at that point. Um, John Moxley maybe, which he didn't really need it either. It was one of those situations where, I mean, first of all, they don't we already know that AEW does not know how to bring up talent, or uh or how can you say it, continue the teachings and get younger talent uh ready for that next level. Maybe they could have done a match with Swerve Strickland, but I don't guess Swerve was like r- there quite yet because I think he had just coming off of doing a tag, being a tag champion. He was kind of just now beginning his singles run with Prince Nana and all that. Um, but like I said, I think at the time it's like the people they got over didn't really need the Sting rub. Um, I mean, not saying Gunther did either, but it was just, or I don't think it. Just don't think that he could have got out of it. I do believe that it's one kind of keeping tag matches. I don't. Did he ever have a singles match, or if he did have a singles match, it was a very short match. Um, and I'm pretty sure it was just one of those. Uh, it was one of those they didn't ask Sting to put nobody over, so he didn't put anybody over. I think how AEW works is like, hey, here's a dump truck full of money. Here's your contract. We'll use you. I mean, like I said, same thing's going to be with Mick Foley. He's gonna come in. They'll probably pay him a dump truck full of money, and he'll probably do like the pre-shows and stuff like that. Make an appearance. Say, "Oh yeah, I'm here." Bang bang, whatever. I don't think Foley will wrestle. Hopefully he won't, because just health reasons. I don't. I, I just don't. Oh yeah, I kind of did dog Foley a little bit, but man, I would be really scared for him to have a match with anybody in AEW. Um, and it won't be anything done on purpose or anything like that. It'll be, uh, I mean, even with if he had a match with Moxley, which could be a dream match, I guess, because they're both hardcore, death match wrestlers type, so they can have that, garbage match, I guess. But Mick Foley can barely walk, I think. Maybe during that time where, if you put John Moxley now against Mick Foley possibly when he did that, I think the second one night only ECW deal where I forgot who he teamed with. Oh, he teamed with Tommy Dreamer against, I guess, Edge and Christian, or not Edge and Christian, but Edge and Randy Orton, I think. And Lita and Beulah got involved, and Edge uh, pumped Beulah at least 3 times in the pinning cover. But maybe at that Mick Foley at that point in his health, he could probably had somewhat a decent match, especially a garbage match with John Moxley. Yeah, his wrestling days are gone, but uh, it's Tony Khan. It's Saint Tony the Khan. I'm pretty sure they've already discussed numbers and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, health reasons. I mean, I would hate to see him take a bad bump, bad chair shot or something like that. Something that's going to really permanently damage him. Um, and I mean, nobody wants to see that. And like I said, last I seen Foley, I think he can barely walk. But as far as seeing putting anybody over, it's like off the top of my head, I really don't know who he could have really put over. Uh, I think the only person who really would have made sense might have been Swerve Strickland, because that's where Swerve was going to the top. I think if it was maybe about another 6 months down the road and he did retire, from the time he did, from the final match he did retire to maybe another 6 months, if they did a match, him and Swerve Strickland, and he put Swerve over, because, Swerve was going at that point. They fumbled that shit. But, like I say, if Sting was wrestling right now in AEW, I say he should put over Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher or I mean, hell, he probably could have had a match with Kenny Omega or something like that, but like I said, I'm pretty sure it's one of those deals where Tony Khan was like, didn't ask him to, just gave him a dump truck full of money and said, here you go. We'll let you team with Darby Allin. Sting, why are you doing dumb shit like that? Not team with Darby, but yeah, I'll repeat again. But yeah, at that time I really thought that Going to do a Sting versus Darby Allin. Not really feud. This maybe one match and put the kid over. Yeah, he is a future barring and if they just book him just right. Because like I said in the AEW Dynamite a few weeks ago, he's slowly but surely learning how to do. Like I said, my recommendation was don't go in there being a screaming promo cutter. Go in there, be a cocky, pretty boy heel, especially with that Australian accent, and kind of talk down to the people. Wear expensive clothes when he's not wrestling, of course. When he's cutting promos, come in wearing expensive clothes, cut the promo, pretty much say he's better than everybody. Um, I mean, not that I got anything against Mark Briscoe. I just don't understand why they took the TNT title off of him and put it on Briscoe. I think should have kept it on Fletcher and kind of did that almost like the Tully Blanchard TV title run. Let him just go up there. He can feed the comebacks and get the win in the end. Then go from there. Eventually lose it to somebody and go from there. But yeah, as far as like top heel and stuff like that, as long as I don't get in that trap, like MJF. Nothing against MJF, but the whole tongue-in-cheek thing, promos and stuff like that, and uh, that shtick's kind of wearing thin. Go back to I'm better than you, you know it. Generational talent, and just emphasize why you don't have to go, um, you know, talking about personal shit, stuff like that. That's cheap. Uh, Kind of like the reason I didn't care for Braun Breaker's promo was last, week before last, where he said something about, maybe telling CM Punk he may, go to his house and take his wife. That's a little, but it kind of made sense this Monday. CM Punk said something about his dumbass dad, Rick. That's just, hey, Rick Scott. This was CM Punk talking, not me. Just repeating it. Thought y'all might be old, but y'all probably still whoop my ass. Uh, but anyway, and CM Punk's ass. Let's not forget that. But yeah, then CM Punk called Rick and Scott dumbasses. Then at the end, it's like, yeah, you're right. This is business. Not after Braun Breaker speared him, he said, yeah, you're right. This is business. No reason to make. Well, he didn't say no reason to make it personal. But he said, hey, you talk about my family again, then who, Braun Breakers or CM Punk, or who are we talking about? Who is his? While you sitting there about to type out, tell me who it is. Let's take a pause and have a word from our sponsor. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Ronald Ray here, your boy with a cornbread accent. If you made it this far in the video, you're having fun. You folks know what to do. Everybody says this, so let's go through the whole routine. If you enjoy it, click on that like button. Also, leave me a comment. Give me your opinions on anything I talk about tonight. Ask questions, or just drop a friendly hello. That's always cool as well. Also, if you enjoy listening to a fan, just like you folks at home, talk about the sport of professional wrestling. Be a champ. click on that subscribe button. Now, back to our program. So, yeah, Punk is still greatest promos. Braun's not there yet as far as promos. Um, I mean, it was okay, but sometimes you guys, I won't say totally Randy Savage, but it's like, did he drink the coffee or did he just eat the coffee beans with a couple of Monster energy drinks and Red Bull and everything else? Not, you know, the whole intensity thing. That's going to be Braun's gimmick, and I think it fits him pretty good. But he needs kind of. I mean, speaking of Randy Savage, I think I said it on the recap of that promo, and why, like I said, when he said something about the dude's wife or Punk's wife, I'm like, oh, come on, you don't have to do that shit. It seems like everybody wants to do that shit. And okay, this is another thing I'm like starting to notice on people's promos. I don't want the now. I want the uh I want the back then person. Because if it's the now person, I'm going to eat their lunch. Or because Eddie Kingston, he did the same thing with Samoa Joe. Breaker did the same thing with CM Punk. Say, hey, I don't, make sure it's that, straight edge guy, whatever. Back then, because the CM Punk now, I'm just going to break in half. I ain't calling him crackhead. Okay, I will say the crackhead thing was kind of funny. He looked like a crackhead. Yeah, you can tell he's yeah. Oh yeah. Uh, actually, acts a little more like Uncle Scott. Pretty intense, and I think didn't I hear Scott Steiner's son is also about to break in, or he's already at the performance center getting trained. So now you're gonna have the Steiner cousins there. And okay, like, come on, do we really gotta keep calling him Breaker? Can we just call him Braun Steiner or something like that? We don't need. We get it now. I mean, you still copyright Braun Steiner. But yeah, like I said, I think maybe study some Randy Savage promos because he would sometimes have those intense promos too, and but didn't get too out of hand. Kind of. I won't say like I said, he's still learning. He's going. I still say Braun Breaker. He's going to be a WrestleMania main eventer, no doubt, unless something happens. But um, he's going to be a huge star. This is just a stepping stone. I don't think you need to get. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him win a world title, but I don't think you need to give Braun Breaker the world title now. I think your number one heel for sure right now is Gunther. I think personally, I think he can get more heat from beating CM Punk than he would get from defeating Cody Rhodes. Because some people are kind of like, Cody, we don't know if we're really tired of him, but we like cheering him. Of course, you got the internet wrestling community, Cody Rhodes. But you watch it on TV, people still, for the most part, cheering for him. Some places not so much, but um, but yeah, I think Gunther will get more heat for this demolishing CM Punk. And that heat will just carry over to whoever, and somebody's going to want to, or the fans are like, man, somebody needs to beat this fucking guy, and maybe probably, you know, eventually, eventually build uh Braun Breaker up, maybe, yeah, hopefully gets better on his promos, or just, you know, kind of keep Paul Heyman there. I mean, you can make Braun Breaker a babyface with, you know, once people kind of come around, start cheering him, and they, a lot of people kind of do not right now. People will definitely bark, kind of like Rick Steiner, the bark, his dad Rick, the bark thing it got over with him with Rick, and they can do the same thing for Braun Breaker. And you still have Paul Heyman there to kind of be the mouthpiece as a babyface. I mean, if fans cheering you, I mean, just go with it. And he can be a guy who looks believable enough to beat uh, Gunther. I mean, do you have to give Gunther a 3-year run with it? Undefeated? No, not really, but at least a year, maybe 2. This depends on how. It all depends on if you do that and people are shelling lots of money. Good God, have you seen the ticket prices of shit, man? Fuck. Okay. That's the other reason I hope maybe one day I get to go to a house show because I think there's the house shows are a little cheaper, I guess. Pay-per-views are getting way out of my price range, especially WWE. Um, because, well, let's face it. What was it Monday? I made an investment Monday, and when I got to the site, I was like, you know what, guys? No, oh, it's just excuse me. I take that back. It was yesterday because I had to go back to Lawrenceville. When I got to the gas station, I seen the advertisement, so I made an investment. And when I got to the site yesterday, I was like, you know what, folks? This might be the last day y'all see me. This could be my retirement day. My last day, and I'm gonna retire tomorrow. But I didn't win. I bought a Powerball ticket, didn't win. Yeah, but yeah, he's just getting started. Uh, the term puppy with big paws, he's going to fill those in, and people start really seem to like him now. Just give it time. I mean, I think they turned on him a little bit in TNA or NXT. Um, but then he partnered up with Baron Corbin, and the NXT people crowd started cheering him. So, but yeah, Breaker's gonna be fine. He's gonna be your main eventer soon. Maybe not right now, but soon. Anyway, like I said, I was going to try and make this short. Hopefully, this is short enough, long enough for you folks. But going to call it a night tonight. Appreciate everybody who checked it out. Appreciate everybody who joined me in the chats. And like I said, if I don't see y'all, uh, if y'all don't come around tomorrow night, and if I don't see y'all, everybody have a happy holidays. Personally, Merry Christmas. Like I said, if you want to wish me a happy Hanukkah or wherever you're calling the holiday, gladly accept it as a. Not saying it. I'm not telling somebody Merry Christmas just to be snooty. I'm kind of a. I try to look at it as, hey, I'm sharing what my holiday with you. You can share say a happy your holiday with me. Mutual thing. It's called just getting along. My hat's that crooked, man. My hat that crooked. Anyway, like I said, gonna call it a night. Hope you folks have a good one. Take it easy, and until next time.
So long from the peach state of Georgia.
Ronald Ray here saying thank you for checking out my video. If you don't mind, go ahead and click that thumbs up button, leave a comment, and share this video with family and friends. I would also appreciate it if you would subscribe to RP2 Vision, where I cover the sport of professional wrestling from yesterday to today. Now don't forget to click the notification bell as well, so you'll be notified when my other weekly content is available, like Wrestling Trivia Tuesday, WWE Raw Recap, and AEW Dynamite Recap. I also have 2 live streams. Every Thursday at 8 p.m., it's Spot Show live stream, where I discuss the latest news in professional wrestling. And on Friday nights at 8 o'clock p.m., it's Wrestling Gold Friday Night, where I discuss the good old days of professional wrestling. When wrestling was wrestling, wrestling was real because it's still real to us. Folks, have a good one, and take it easy.